video, and then my grandma's also in the bathroom, and um and I just ordered something. I should have ordered a Jesus Loves You's hoodie, but I really wanted this hoodie. It had like bears on it, and it's so cute. You know what I mean? But yeah, so in high school, ninth and 10th grade, it was just like I wanted to build my relationship with God, and I was building my relationship with God, but it just seemed like every time I went like one step closer, 5 steps close, the devil, myself, and the devil would just bring me back like 20 steps, and it was just like back and forth, and I just remember journaling like, God, you know what I mean? Like, I want to serve you, but I love sex. I want to serve you, but I love this so much more. I want to serve you, but it's just like I don't know how to give up my whole life and things like that. God, I know the lifestyle I'm living is a sin, but it's just like, I just don't want to stop living it. And it's like 1 minute I'm straight and 1 minute I'm gay. It's like I just didn't know what to do. And then I think like I still had God in my head, but like around like 11th grade and 12th grade, that's when I just really stopped caring. And that's where that scripture in Romans 1 talk about like God will give you a way to your unnatural desires, that he will harden your heart, because there were so many times in those moments where I disobeyed God, and this is how merciful he is, like, but I didn't understand his true mercy, grace, and his love, there was so many times I would disrespect God and things like that, but yet he will come through for me. I seen him work in my hands, work in my life, his hands work in my life so many times and times and times and times and times. Like I almost got jumped, but a voice told me, leave your phone home, don't bring your phone. I obeyed it. I was limping, one time I sprained my ankles, and I was like, God, this bus is right here. 3 buses came. I was on the beach with my best friend, and we didn't have no money at all. We ended up getting nachos. The little things matter to God. I went to Coney Island, and I won this teddy bear. I don't know if I can see it. It's gonna be ghetto over here, y'all. Won that teddy bear, please. I want that teddy bear and things like that. You know what I mean? Favor. And I was a sinner. So it's like, yes, like, God is merciful. God is great. He wakes up the atheists every day. He wakes up the sinners every day. He wakes up the people that don't, obey him every day. But they will never truly understand how good God is and how much he is somebody. They will never understand that everything he is, we are not. You know what I mean? And I didn't understand that. So that's why I'm saying that. So even in my darkness, and we say things like, yeah, God still loved me because, he blessed, that's his job. Like, God is merciful, God is faithful, and things like that. Everything, he's not blessing you, he's just being God, because all things, the good and the bad, work together for his plan. But he really blesses you once you submit. He really blesses you once you understand that, wow, like that song Alabaster Box, you realize that everybody was sinners. Everybody was so religious, and everybody was, they knew who God was, but they didn't know Jesus, his son, and they didn't know the truth when it was in their face. Everybody is so woke, but they don't see the truth. They don't say that. Like, everybody talk about Mary and how they was talking about how Mary and how she came, and they was like, oh, if you know the type of person she is, you wouldn't, and then God was just like, y'all didn't even give me a kiss. Y'all didn't give me no water. She kissed me and wiped my feet, and she wiped it with her tear. And like, so I feel like the church also plays a role in like shunning people out. You gay, come to church as you are, but if you really submit and you really want to know God, after church you read that Bible, after church you get in your word, after church you go on YouTube, you type, what does this say, what does that mean, you ask God to open your heart. Like, we can't always put it on the church, but they really do play an important role in why a lot of people believe God is just sinful God and things like that. Probably I even played a role in that, a role in that certain times in my life. But I just remember God has just been so faithful to me during the times I didn't know him, and just because he did, I was like, I'm going to give my life to you. I'm going to give my life to you. Every single time I got out of something bad, I'm going to give my life to you. I'm going to give my life to you when I'm 35. I'm going to give my life to you when I'm 25. I'm going to YOLO. I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to... That was really not uncalled for. That was just in the spur of a moment. I'm gonna give head. I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna curse my mother out. I'm gonna call the MF&Bs. Those are no fruits. The fruit of the spirits is sensuality, malice, hate, anger, envy, strife. Those are the fruits of this. I ain't had no good fruits, and I was talking about, oh, God love. I'm a Christian, but I'm gay. God still, yeah, no, Lord, depart from. Yeah, that's where I was heading. A lukewarm Christian. Yeah, a lukewarm Christian. So around like 11 and 12th grade, I just, just completely just backed away from God, and I just really started becoming extra sexual. I had a Twitter account. I was posting, masturbation videos on that. I had a Snapchat. I was doing the most. I was rooted in hate. God was in the back of my mind, but I really didn't care. Like, after that, I really did not care if I went to hell. I did not care. I really didn't care. I wanted to live my life. I got hooked onto weed, and when I got hooked onto weed, that became an idol. Masturbation was an idol. The people in my life were an idol. I put them so above everybody. I put money as an idol. Drinking, I was not a heavy drinker, but that was, what you may call it, an idol. And I think of something that Jackie Hill Perry said. Praying the gay away is not going to work, because if God did take away the gay, okay, let's say he did, I was still drinking, I was still smoking, I was still masturbating, I was still watching porn, I was still disobedient, I was still doing whatever I want, I was not submitted. So that's another thing too. When you come to God and you just say, God, take away the gay, in an arrogant way, like, God, take away the gay, God is looking at you like, who are you talking to? Oh, okay, like, act like you know. When you come to God, don't take away the gay in a prideful way. God, like, I truly don't understand what to do anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I just want something different. Come to God like that. I came to God like that. I really did. But then in the same breath, I would say, God, I want to change my life, but I love this life. I came to God. Like, you can read my journal. God, I'm so confused. And then the next day, and the next day was like, God, I'm so confused. Do this, do that. No, you know what I mean? So I just didn't want to hear it no more, and I just lived that life. I lived that life. But in living that life, it just felt so dirty. It felt so disgusting, because I knew, like, in the back of my head, it was a sin. You know what I mean? And this all started from playing with dollies, then watching porn, then masturbating, and then wanting the things that I seen on the Pornhub to be done to me. Then if nobody could do it, I bought sex toys and dildos and, yeah, and, things, and, and done it to myself, you know what I mean? Sending my pictures of, it was just a lot. I did not walk in grace. I did not walk in forgiveness. I did not walk in, therefore, anyone who's in Christ Jesus is a new creation. And this is where I can't blame my church. I can't blame my mom, because I could have searched for the truth. I wanted truth, and I knew who God was, but did I ever search for him, though? Did I really sit there and be like, I want to do this thing I didn't, I really didn't. I didn't. And I didn't do that. And I'm saying that not to say that, that's everybody's issue. But for me, it was like I would look up everything else. But I would be in drama. I would be in confusion. I would have told you about yourself and your mother and I was, my mouth, I was the most, like, I was the clapback king. Don't come for me if I don't send for you, because I will finish you and I will end your life. I am not like that anymore, thank God. I'm meek, I'm humble, but I was the clapback king. My mouth, how it is right now, that's praising the Lord, singing exaltations, let it be. It was not like that before. If you know me, you know I was a clapback king. You don't come in my comments talking crazy. If I couldn't fight you, I was gonna annihilate you in my words. Or you just defending yourself. What God said, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, pray for those who persecute you. I was not doing none of those things, period. Like, I was really telling you about your mom and your dead auntie, and just sticking things where the sun don't shine. So you know, and I thought I was so woke, but I was also being a hypocrite, and I was also being judgmental and all these things. So it's just a lot of things wrong that even if God did take the gay away, my life still would have been trash because I was not speaking life. I was just speaking death. You know, my motto at that time was living on edge. I was really going to get a tattoo over here that says living on edge. Living on edge. What the hell? What the heck? Sorry, God. Living on edge. No. Live on life. Don't live on death. Like, let that word transform you. So after high school, I was just a drunken, high mess. And in between those times, you know the boy I was talking to. So we get there now. This boy, you know, he had a lot of demons inside of him, or hurt inside of him. Demons, hurt, spirits, whatever you want to call it, whatever I want to call it. Yeah, his life was just a mess, but my own was messier. Before I knew God, I knew you. I was lonely every time I spoke with you. I knew the life I was living wasn't for me, and I was confused, but I dimmed my light down so I can shine through you. Before I knew God, I knew you. I'm sending pictures of my parts, but asking God to forgive me, feeding my flesh because I was always rejected. But no, not with you. You knew what you was doing, and I was a fool. I was blinded by Satan's love. He used you, and me too. You're not all to blame, and I forgive you, but before I knew God, I knew you. Before I knew God, I knew you. But yeah, that's how far I got in my poem that I wrote. Nah, but for real though, before I knew God, I knew him, and all those things are true. But he really showed me myself in like a dark way. With him, I thought I was gonna be happy having a boyfriend. I thought I was gonna be happy cuddling with a man. I thought I was gonna be happy kissing a man. I thought I was gonna be happy because I finally got a boyfriend. No. We had sex and everything. It would never fulfill me. I would just feel so, you know, like those movies, like when people, like Jada Smith and Set It Off, after she had sex with that older man to pay for a college tuition or whatever the case may be, and she just went in the bathroom and she was just like, that's how I felt, to be honest. And I would go home and I'll be making the most noise, like, yeah, I just did this. You my babe, talking about all the threesomes I've been in and, you know, what I do with this mouth. But we would argue every time. Every time I thought we was good, it was just arguing over and over and over again. We was up, we was down, we was down, we was down, we was down. We was hardly ever up, we was always down. My life became his. We intertwined heart, mind, body, and soul. I felt the pain of what he told me in secret. Never felt that way before, but before I knew God, I knew you. Like, that person, it was just a lot, and now I can talk about it. You know what I mean? Because like, if it wasn't for like that final push of me experiencing God giving me a way to everything, then it was just like I was really trying to be the man or the woman. I really don't know. I was really trying to be that man in that relationship, but no, like that's not the road that God. Being gay is not only wrong because, you know, it's a sin, but it's like God made man and woman in his likeness and image, and he called us good. He called us good, but then we turn around and we have sex with man and we defile his image and his creation and the things that he used for glory, and we're saying like, oh God, you're a liar. That my feelings, just because I feel the urges to go have sex with a man, or just because I feel like the world tells me to do this, I should do this, and you made me, he didn't make you that way. You were not born that way. And if you did, it's either because A, you've been hurt by a man, or somebody molested you or raped you. There's no way in heaven, bro, that you were born that way. You like I said a few words out of you, you grew up. There's no way. God is not crazy. God would not, you know, God, no. And then I feel like everybody's, a majority of the people in the world has heard the gospel. You know what I mean? And the people that don't, obviously God knows. You know what I mean? He's not going to send nobody to hell that hasn't heard the gospel. But majority of the people in America, I'm speaking for America, Brooklyn, New York, you know, they heard the gospel being preached. You know? So even watching this video, the gospel is being preached. You know what I mean? You know, so God gave me away to my unnatural desires. And that relationship just was the turning point of everything. And I got kicked out of the same house that I'm in. And it was his reason. It was because of him, and it was also because of me too. But I got kicked out of the same house. And all things work together for those who believe. And God leaves the 99. He moves heaven and earth just to find you. You know what I mean? Like, you're a sinner and you search for God. I feel like the reason why God came for me, because, you know, I was not looking for God. I was over God, this, and the third, whatever the case may be. But I feel like the prayers that I prayed for, and that he knew my heart. He knew my heart, but it was just it was just me submitting to his will. He knew my heart. Like I said, I would pray and I would thank him, this, and the third, but I would never submit to him. But this relationship, I was broken. But, you know, like, God touches though. Like, he chases down the ones he loves. I'm not saying he don't love you, you know. He's not a respecter of any man, but it's just like, in my case, it was just like divine. Like, Paul was out here killing Christians, and then the next day, he was like, yo, like, I want to be discipled, like, and nobody was taking him in, you know what I mean? Like, he had a whole encounter with God, and that was one of my moments. It was just like, I was so broken, I was so distraught, I was crying down the street, like, it was just so much things that was happening. And I got kicked out this house, and I said I would never come back. And the same house I got kicked out of was the same house that God saved me in. It's just crazy how I remember everything. I remember that the day before, my grandma was just like, so Rashid, when you going home? Period. Not even like, oh, you know, no, she's West Indian, Grenadian. She said, Rashid, when you going home? I said, I don't know, Grammy. She said, oh, okay, I love you, but you can't really stay in here, because I was smoking weed at that time. It was so strong. I was like, you know, I love you and everything, my grandchild, but you know, the weed is too strong, and, you know, it's not like the one back home, and it's so much chemical, and, you know, you know, so I was like, okay, fine. I packed my stuff and I left. And I took the next flight to Chicago. Nah. But I packed my bags and I went back home, and I didn't want to. I felt like me going back home was just like, I'll wait on you. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Wait on you. Wait on you. Okay, yeah, I packed my stuff and all. If I came back here, I'll never forget. My mom was playing this sermon, and I just came outside from smoking. I love telling this. Oh, even before that, there's a video on my testimony, like part 1, part 2, part 3A, part 3B. You can watch it. And I just remember, the February 23rd, like 2 years ago, my mom was praying, and her and my auntie was praying, Denise, and they was just interceding on my behalf, and the spirit inside of me was just like, what the hell? Because, yeah, what the hell, being real, because, I'm playing on my toenails right now. I feel like I got fungus, I don't know, looks like it, I don't know, y'all, please don't quote me on that, but, let me take my hand sanitizer, hold on. Jesus, I'm too big for that.